Good morning, ninth grade. We are on week 2 of remote learning. We are on our first lesson of the week, and if you click on the slides on the Google Stream, you will see our focus objective number 24. I'm going to share my screen so that everybody can see it. Mr. Allen, can you see that?
Yes. Focus objective number 24. I can brainstorm ideas for my small moment narrative. And for those of you wondering, what's a small moment narrative? That's what we're going to teach you right now.
After we take our mindful minute as a group in the live session, if you're not with us for the live session, please pause the video right now, take a mindful minute, and then come back. And when you resume, you will get the video for Small Moment Narrative, which we are going to play right now.
Today we're going to learn all about writing small moment stories. A lot of times when we're thinking about what to write about, we think of watermelon ideas. Watermelon ideas are really big ideas, and they're made up of lots of little events. So a big watermelon idea would be something like going to an amusement park, 5th grade, what I did over the summer. Other ideas for writing are seed ideas. A seed idea is a small, tiny idea that's filled with lots of detail. This is also known as a small moment. So some ideas are big watermelon ideas. These are big general ideas. And inside of those big general ideas, we have seed ideas. These are small details of tiny events that happened. So one example of a big idea story would be going to an amusement park. Lots of things happened when I was at that amusement park. These would be our small moments. So a small moment could be something like riding a roller coaster, eating a delicious lunch, or getting soaked on that water ride. To write about a small moment story, you need to pick one seed idea and zoom in on it to describe it in detail. So my big idea was all about going to the amusement park. I think for my small moment, I'm going to talk about riding on that roller coaster. So when I talk about my small moment, I'm going to think about what the ride looked like. Maybe it was a giant metal new roller coaster, or maybe it was a smaller wooden rickety one. I'm also going to talk about how I felt. Was I nervous? Was I excited? What was the weather like? Was it a bright sunny day or sort of a cool overcast? Talking about the weather is a great way to set the mood or the tone of your story. I could also talk about who I was with. Maybe it was my family. Maybe it was my best friends. I can also talk about what I heard. Maybe I heard people shrieking in excitement or birds chirping. When you think about writing your own small moment story, you need to first think of a big idea and list all of those tiny seed ideas that are inside of it. Once you're happy with your list, pick one seed idea. Then you want to stretch out that small seed idea with details. Really make the reader feel like he or she is actually there with you. One easy thing to do is use your senses to add in description. You can talk about what you saw, what you touched, what you heard, what you smelled, or even what you tasted. All of these ideas will help you when you're coming up with writing your own small moment story.
So for your small moment narrative, because we are closing out our unit on survivorship, the power of words, the power of finding your voice, you are going to write a small moment narrative that focuses on a story about survivorship, okay? You can write a small moment narrative that reflects a moment of survivorship that you personally went through. If you don't think that you have a story like that, you can maybe identify somebody in your family or a friend or anybody that you know who has gone through a survivorship moment or that experience of overcoming trauma and surviving a moment that was really impactful. Or if neither of those options work, you can be a complete creator and make up your own story that's fabricated but still has to do with that idea of survivorship. Before we ask you to start writing this small moment narrative, though, Mr. Allen is going to recap what that small seed idea is, and then he's going to talk to you a little bit about brainstorming.
So the idea of when the video talked about big ideas versus small ideas, and the way that the lady in the video broke it down is big ideas are like a watermelon, and watermelons are full of seeds, and it's those seeds that we want to look at. So like a big idea, a big story that you could tell with a lot of detail would be your whole day at school, right? Because you've got class, you've got another class, and all the things that happen in that class. You've got the hallways and all the interactions in the hallways. You've got lunch and everything that happens there. And then you've got advisory, and you've got another class, and then there's the hallways again. There's so many little moments in your day at school. So maybe instead of that big idea, you zoop down to a really small idea that's like you took a pop quiz. So instead of the big idea of your whole day at school, it's just that 2 or 3 minutes, that 5-minute time where you were in the room and it was math class and everybody was joking around, and maybe somebody said something funny or maybe somebody didn't. And then all of a sudden, surprise, pop quiz.
I think that's a good way also to look at it, Mr. Allen, is by saying it's like a 2 to 5 minute moment in your whole 6-hour day, right? I think that was smart.
Yeah, the same way that like going to the amusement park, it's a fun story, but it's a long story.
Yeah.
Whereas riding on a roller coaster, that's 90 seconds tops. And so when you force yourself to talk about something that's short in time, you have to use a lot of details to fill up a page.
Yeah. Okay, so if you are with us for the live session, you will click to, I'm going to share my screen again. You would click to the 5th slide, and you will watch this little, is this from Pixar? Creator?
Yes.
So Pixar created this like mini story, and we'll watch it as a group. But if you're not with us, you want to click to the 5th slide and see if you're able to determine the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. You can check your answers. I'm going to click it really fast on the 6th slide, but don't look at the answers first. Test yourself and see if you're able to guess what the beginning, the middle, and the end is. Why are we asking you to do that? Well, today, what your goal or your task is going to be is to look at the graphic organizer that we've created for you, and you're going to begin planning your small moment narrative. So like Mr. Allen said, once you figure out what that little seed is, you want to make sure that your seed has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And you will find this document in the Google Classroom. This is all you're responsible for today. What's happening in the beginning of your small moment narrative, the middle of your small moment narrative, and the end of your small moment narrative.